afternoon. I'm going to mute everyone, but feel free to unmute yourself when you have something to share or to contribute to. Okay, awesome. All right, well, we're going to get going. As a reminder, guys, I'm going to try to keep the call tight. The first couple of minutes, I really want to focus on just recognition, what you guys are doing. Hey, Blady, what you guys are doing out there. I see you just jumped on. And Tammy, I want to just do some recognition, open mic. I want you to take turns, just share what's going on out there that you're proud of, what your teammates are doing. And, you know, I want to give some shout outs too. And then challenges, what's going on out in the field that's giving you a speed bump and you want some teammate advice, some coaching on it. We're going to spend some time on that. And then the major action today in training is around the Leader in Action report. I've been promising you guys we would review that, but then I've had guest speakers every week. We had Susan Miller, then we had Carol Elizabeth. And so I wanted to get them on the line first because we can do Leader in Action anytime. So that's going to be the meat of this evening, and then our call to action. So with that being said, let's start out with some recognition. Melva, I'd love for you to start by maybe just introducing our new teammate to the group.
Sure, absolutely. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a good evening. So I am so excited to introduce Dr. Nicoletta and Dr. Eddie, her husband. He's probably had enough of us today, right? He's not there. She comes to us she's in Norfolk, but from Ohio. So those teams that we're growing in Ohio, she has family there. And I'm super excited. She's a resident, so she's doing this in dermatology resident, but she is surefire. So I'm so glad that she's come to our team. So welcome, Dr. Nicoletta.
Awesome.
I don't know if you want to say hello or anything, but.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. And you're going to teach us, what is your video you did on Serbian, right? The alphabet?
Oh, yes. I do know how to speak Serbian and how to read and write in Cyrillic alphabet.
Right. So we can learn all different types of things. And she still owes me like a facial or something. But so welcome to the team. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Shout out for Katie. She's not on, but Katie Chong, she's been on. I know she'll be watching the recording. We did a onboarding call for one of our new members to the team, Mike, who hopefully you'll meet soon. And I was telling Melissa, it's so awesome with our tools because we did a Zoom call in the Australian time zone, coordinated with the Eastern time zone, with the Texas, like Central time zone. So it's so possible to grow these teams and to duplicate. So lots of excitement going there. So just want to shout out to Katie as well.
Yay. Yes, I love that. I saw the screenshot of that. It's incredible. I mean, we literally are growing a global business right now. It doesn't look like Christine Bukasas isn't on the line, but she's got a friend in Colombia, Blady and Lorena, that's interested in building the business. So I told her she's going to need to connect with you. And it's a small world because Christine's a PhD, and she spent some time with Katie on the line because she's also a PhD. Just talking about, you know, the strategies as a PhD, how do we tap into our academic network? Because we each have a network. Our networks are completely different, but they reflect us and who we are. And so for them, it's academia. And for me, it's the corporate professional. And for Melva, it's, you know, the physician. So we have to leverage that. Okay, awesome. Okay, so what else? I want to hear some shout outs. What are you guys doing out there that's amazing that you want to recognize? Anybody else want to speak up? I'm gonna jump in while you guys think. I wanted to recognize PIBs this week. So Louisa, you locked in your PIBs this week. I just saw that come through. Rebecca Mooney, you guys remember Rebecca on the line last week who jumped in and she was like, I haven't been here for like 365 days. I've stayed active, but I opened up my back office and you guys have been killing it and I've got all this volume. You guys remember her last week? So we had a coaching call and I coached her on how to get back to consultant and push for manager. And she did. And she hit 9 cycles this week and hit ghost cycles because of the value pack and sports performance pack or something that she put in. So she hit 1 star. So guys, this is the brilliancy of our compensation model. She hit freaking 1 star. Okay. I love it. That's the brilliancy of staying active and while the team builds, you know? Michelle, I'm pretty sure Michelle got her PIB this week. I'm fortunate enough that Michelle actually lives here in Charlotte, and she and I sat down over coffee this week and really discussed her goals and strategy with her team. And I know there's some big things coming for them. I've got a call with them. Jenny, I see that you're on the line. You rocked the Global Exec call this past week. I'm so excited that we got to hear your voice and your story and your growth. So big things to come with those girls. And then Allie Wright, she hit her PIBs too. So Allie's out there crushing it and doing fun things with her husband. So those are some of the recognitions that I wanted to give. I did want to open it up. Tammy, I see that you're on the line. You and Becky, and who else is here? Cindy. I'd love to hear from you guys on how your event went this weekend in Ohio.
Okay. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Becky for inviting so many people, and we had a big turnout. There was 20 people.
Wow.
At our Super Saturday yesterday morning. So that was great. And then a lot of people couldn't even come. So Becky did a great job. Her and the trainer that she had enrolled. So both of them did a great job introducing us and opened up for us, and it was fabulous. And then, big shout out to Cindy too. And hopefully we can hear from both of them. Got some really good feedback today from Cindy, so she can share a little bit. She went to both of them attended both. We had one in Gallipolis yesterday morning, and then we had one in Pomeroy local yesterday afternoon. So we were just running to one. We did it. We packed up. We ran to the other. It was quite fun. We had a great time and a big turnout on both of them.
That's incredible. And did you guys do a little bit of a mixture? Did you do some product overview prospecting for prospects, and then also did you kind of roll your sleeves up and do some business training too? What are the—
Yes, the second one was only business. Okay. It was all business, and so but the first one, it was kind of we shared our story. Mm-hmm. We talked about. I kind of did took things from the assessment. So I kind of opened up with that, getting people to think ask them if they were living their ideal life. And then I started asking them some questions from the assessment. And so that was pretty good. Then Jennifer talked about the products. And then Heather showed the business model.
Awesome. And
and then Jennifer and I closed it.
Awesome. And now, did Jennifer have you guys over to her house last night? Did you guys have a little party?
Yeah, well, it wasn't, not really. Well, it was kind of a party, I guess. It was a long day. It started, I left at 7 a.m. yesterday morning, and I didn't get home until 11:30.
That's awesome. I know. At the end of those events, I always just have no voice left. So that's incredible. You guys are really paving the way. So that's the second Super Saturday since, when did I come up there? Was it March? So we did one in March?
July.
Okay, so we did one in July, and guys, they crushed another one in December. I hope that inspires you. I know many of you have been in communication with some of the top leaders on the team about traveling across the country this year and challenging you to host your own Super Saturdays. I'm happy to come and be a guest speaker, but I hope that this inspires you that no matter where you are in the country, and I think Tammy would be the first to say that they're in a pretty rural spot, and they bring in a tremendous audience. And have a powerful team, obviously. So I think a lot of it has to do with just the culture and the community that you guys create locally, and it's incredible. So I know you guys worked really hard on that, so kudos. All right, Any other recognition or shout-outs that you guys want to give before we move on? Oh, that's funny. Nicoletta says, never been there. near Cleveland. Is there any other recognition shout-outs before we move on?
Hey, Melissa, it's Dawn. Can you hear me?
Hey, Dawn. How are you?
Hey. I'm well. I actually want to shout out to my sister. I don't know if Kim is on the call.
She is.
But oh, great. She has been so consistent. So she met this woman in, I guess, July, traveling on the plane, but kept consistent on social media with her, reached out for her birthday, and lo and behold, now she's interested in learning a little bit more about the business opportunity. Her and her brother are looking to start a business. So, Kim, what I really want to say is she was consistent, but she's not attached to the outcome. And this is a huge mindset shift for Kim, where the conversation is not about what we want her on the team, go, 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 but what are her needs? And I love it. It's really been a great evolution to watch. So kudos, you go, girl.
That's incredible. And it's a really good point, Dawn. I think that especially early on when we're first building, we get so attached to the outcome because we don't realize how many people we actually know. And, you know, it's when you're in your first year or so of building, you know, when you're getting interest, it's almost like you can't get away from those people who showed some level of interest, and you're so attached to that outcome versus moving on to the next, but making sure you circle back and not being so attached. So I think that's a really, really valid point that you make, Dawn. I remember when I first made my very first 100 list, and I thought, that's everybody. Like, that's everybody I know. And, you know, when you get a little bit of interest from a couple people on that list, it's really tempting to just bother the heck out of those 10 people and not expand your network and look for others and move on and not get attached, but just circle back. Because people sense desperation and they sense that we're chasing them and they just run faster, versus that sounds like that Kim's really kind of mastered that finesse of just the casual touch, the casual reach out, and now she's getting traction. So I love it. Congrats, Kim. Okay, any others?
Yeah, Melissa, can you hear me? It's Becky.
Hey, Becky. How's it
I
going?
just appreciate Tammy and Jennifer coming down to Gal Please yesterday morning. Co and me both have some people thinking about it. We had several who couldn't come. So Co's ready to do it again in January. He said we got to do it in January when everybody's wanting to lose weight. So I just appreciate them coming down and helping us out.
Yep. Yeah, well, and you make a great point I want to bring up to the team right now. It's so tempting in this business to just slow down right now and to lose presence on social media and to lose the practice of prospecting daily. Because we're just as busy as our prospects, and it's easy to kind of set it over to the side and say, oh, we'll do this in January. The reality is right now is the time to be planting seeds. You're going to feel like there are so many people telling you not right now, doesn't work for me, I've got too many holiday parties. This is the time to take action, because what happens in January is if you've planted seeds throughout this month, you are the first person they think of when they can't button their pants on January 3rd, right? But if you haven't planted those seeds now and you wait until January, they've already got some other solution in their back pocket that they're going to go to. Every year, my highest enrollment month is January, and my second highest enrollment month is usually March or April. And it's because people are getting their bathing suits on and they're going on vacation. But you have to plant the seeds now so that they sprout and they grow in January. You want people to think about you when they feel gross. You've got a brand. You've already got it marketed. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And thank you for talking, just bringing that forward. That I know you were saying you and Co just want to do it again in January. I'm not saying you guys are waiting until January, but I'm glad you brought that up because it made me think.
Yeah, I had some people who couldn't come, and they said, "Can you send me some information?" So I'm going to keep working with them, thinking if I, just like you said, get them.
Yeah.
Well, this month, and then maybe they'll be ready in January to go.
Well, and I think that our Get Fit Facebook page that has the Facebook Lives every Tuesday is a great place to funnel people right now for your prospects who are interested in weight loss but not ready to pull the trigger. If you can add them to the Get Fit Facebook page, there's going to be some passive marketing to them as they're thumbing through social media. We know the average person spends 4 to 4.5 hours a day scrolling, which is insane. But the reality is they're going to scroll and see potentially a product interview. And I wouldn't just hope that they're going to see it. I would make it a point to directly message these people and remind them, hey, you know, we've got someone doing a product overview on this Facebook page. I'm going to tag you in there. I'd love for you to come watch it. So you're just planting seeds, planting seeds, planting seeds. So when they're ready, they're coming after you. So that's a great point. It's a good tool. Awesome. Any other shout outs? All right. What about challenges? What have you guys run into this week that you have questions about or you want team support and brainstorming on? Throw it out there. This week was just easy. I think everybody's on, I call it the promo hangover. Everybody was pushing so hard with our promos. You guys were crushing it. And then you hit like, I mean, even me personally, I was up till midnight Monday putting in orders. And come Tuesday, I was just like, oh, okay. Let's see. What does Michelle say? I was just listening to Rachel Hollis' podcast tonight on not being attached to the income. So good. Yeah. Yep. So challenges. You guys asked a little bit about what do you do to respond to people who are, what's the word I'm looking for? Why can I not think of it? When people are pushing back on you about the holidays and saying, I want to start in January. People have been asking a lot about the verbiage on that. I'm not going to cover that tonight. What I would recommend that you do is go to my Facebook page last week. I did a Facebook Live on this, and I'm pretty sure some of Zach and Eden Slobin did a Facebook Live on this as well in the Isogenics business page. So I'm not going to recreate the wheel. But if you go watch those videos, my video, I really marketed to the person wants to get started but doesn't want to dive fully into a 30-day system today. I did a Facebook Live on how you can play with the system throughout this month and get ahead, but go ahead and get started versus waiting until the new year. So go back to my Facebook page from last week and watch that if you're getting a lot of not right nows, but maybe in January. Listen to my video and you may be able to lock in some enrollments right now because you're doing damage control for people throughout the holidays. Challenges. Any other challenges besides the holiday pushback? No? It's been an easy breezy week for everybody? That's cool. We can jump into the Leader in Action report because we got about 10 minutes to do that. Okay. So we will. All right. Who, can you raise hands here? I don't know if you can. Let me ask, you can just type in the chat, who has ever printed out the Leader in Action form? Has anybody ever even printed it out? And with that also, has anybody ever filled it out or tracked it? No. Nicoletta's honest and says no. Does anybody know why we have it? Let me ask that. Does anybody even know what it is? Okay, good. See, this is going to be a valuable conversation. All right, so here's the deal. Isogenics put the Leader in Action report together because they have found that this formula is the most important formula. People are always asking, you come into network marketing, no matter where you come from. In my industry, it was very, I knew exactly what I needed to do to accomplish during my day. It was very kind of black and white, what needed to be achieved. And you come into network marketing, become a business owner, an entrepreneur, you've never done it before. People get lost in the weeds. They don't know what to focus on. They don't know what metrics to follow to determine if they're growing their business. And they're told a million different things, and then they just get paralyzed, and so they do nothing. Has anybody ever experienced that? You're just like, I don't even know, right? So Isogenics actually has a formula for you to make it really, really simple, okay? And I have found, I'm going to walk you guys through the different categories but they break it down into 4 categories for you because they feel it's most important. I'll tell you, when I was in Hawaii at Top Achievers this year, the top income earners that were on stage talking, they print this out every week. They monitor what they're doing every week. They own it like a business. They're not just guessing. They're not just, every couple of months saying, oh, I've got so many cycles, I'm doing great. They own it every week. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So first of all, where is the report? So I'm going to share my screen. And my call to action, you guys probably won't be surprised. I try to do a call to action after every call, is going to be that you fill this out every week. I do it every Monday. I look at my week before. Okay, so contest and promotions. This is where you guys are going to go, okay? And then look, right there is view. Do you guys see that under leader in action? It says view worksheet over in the far right, okay? Click on it. Now, what I've done with this report is I've printed about 30 copies of it. I don't know if you guys can see my face, but I'm sharing my screen. Can you guys see me? I'm not lying when I tell you guys that I have 1, 2, you see how many black empty sheets I have? Okay. I'm telling you, it's the first thing I do every Monday morning. So I have copies made. I just printed them off. I keep them in my folder. Doesn't matter whether you work full-time, you're with kids full-time, you do nothing full-time, you can find time to take 5 minutes to fill this out. And you can print them all out tonight and then you have them. Okay, so you want to track each month. So I've just finished tracking the month of November. Actually, the last day is today. So I've got this last day to fill in my benchmark of cycles. So right here, you would fill in your month, which for this month would be November. It'd be a good exercise for you guys to go back and look at this month. And then you have to fill in your cycle benchmark. This is where people get confused. I'm going to show you where to find your cycle benchmark in a minute. Now, the 4 key categories to monitor where you're focused on your business is going to be in 4 categories. 1 is going to be your personal cycle growth, okay? The company watches your growth. They reward your growth in your business. This is really important as you get into the bonus pools in director and executive, because in the bonus pools, you are paid on your own personal growth, not growth against other people. And that's one thing I love about this company. Someone beside you can go from, in the 2-star pools, they can go from like 18 to 20 cycles. That's a 2-cycle differential, right? But if you're on our team and you're following our Cepeda strategy, you can get into the cycle, you can get into the bonus pools and go from 4 cycles to 12 cycles. Now your cycle differential is 8. Even though your cycles are less, your growth is tremendous compared to theirs. And there's only so much money put in the bonus pools every month. And guess what? Guess who gets the biggest piece of the pie? People who get the biggest piece of the pie are people who are growing their own personal business the fastest, not who has the most cycles. So the guy beside you who cycled 20 times and you cycled 12, you get rewarded with a higher bonus if you went from 4 to 12 and he went from 18 to 20. Is that making sense? So cycle growth is important, all right? That's why we follow the Cepeda strategy, and Nicoletta will coach you on that Cepeda strategy because it's kind of top secret with our team on how to maximize the bonus pools. So I'm going to show you guys in a minute how you track that, because it really depends on your cycle benchmark. So if you're paid as executive, so for me and Jennifer, I know you'll catch the recording, anyone else paid as executive, when you're in the executive pools, your benchmark's calculated a little bit differently. They look at your previous 9 weeks of cycles, and then they come up with an average. And they every 9 weeks, they give you a new target for your growth. And what I like about this is if you've had a tremendously really high cycle couple of weeks, the company's going to accommodate for that, and they're going to push you and challenge you over the next couple of weeks that your cycle benchmark is going to be a little higher. But they don't penalize you over time. If you have like a killer week, like when I hit 4-star and had 60 cycles, it was incredible, but I kissed it. And then over the next couple of weeks, kind of my cycles normalized back out, and then you kind of jump back up. It's just the nature of the business. The company looks at trends. So your benchmark can ebb and flow. It can drop back if your cycles drop back. It's not like you have explosive growth and then for now and forever, your benchmark is now higher. Does that make sense? It's actually trends with your business growth. I personally really appreciate that. Like when I had a baby last year and I was MIA for like 3 months, I didn't get penalized. When I jumped back in and started playing in the pools, the company had adjusted my benchmark based on kind of the flatness in my business for those couple of months. Okay. So we'll talk about where you draw that number in a minute, but let's just put an arbitrary, let's say your benchmark as a director is 3 cycles. That's realistic because I got on the phone with Christine Manukin this past week and coached her on this. And I think that was her cycle benchmark. It was 3 cycles. She's pushing to get paid as director and get into the director pools. 1 week, she had a cycle week of 3 cycles. So her net, if her cycle benchmark is 3 and she hits 3, then when you fill out the chart, your cycle growth is actually going to net 0 because you don't have +1, you don't have -1. Now, follow me on this for a second. The following week, she gets 4 cycles. Well, that week, if her personal benchmark is 3 and she hit 4, then in the second week, she gets a +1 because she has 1 more cycle than her benchmark, right? So let's say the following week, in the third week, she hits 5 cycles and her benchmark is 3. Well, that week, she gets a 2+, right? Because it's a differential of if her benchmark is 3 and she hits 5, she's got 2 more cycles than what the company says is your benchmark. Now, she could have a really low week. Let's say, the 4th week, she has, let's say you fall out of consultant status, God forbid, you don't cycle at all. Then if your cycle benchmark is 3, now you're going to get a -3 that week because not only did you not meet the benchmark cycle, you are -3. Is this making sense? Okay, so then when you scroll down at the end of the month, you're going to add it all up. So let's say, I'm just going to do the math for you guys. I don't know what numbers I just gave you, so I'm going to make them up again. I want you guys just to make sure we're tracking. I want to see if anybody can I see, take yourself off of mute. Because I want to make sure this is making sense because I know it gets confusing. Her benchmark's 3, okay? Mm-hmm. In her first week, let's say she hits 4 cycles in the week number 1. So what would her personal cycle growth be that week?
1.
Exactly, 1. All right. So let's say on week 2, she hits 5 cycles. What's her cycle that week?
2.
Exactly.
2.
Yep. Now let's say in her 3rd week, she falls off consultant status. What's her cycle growth if she hit 0 that week?
-3.
-3. That's right. Now let's say the following week she gets consultant status back and she cashes out all that volume that she didn't use the week before. She hits 6 cycles. What's her cycle growth that week? So she has 6. Let's say she has 6 cycles that week.
3. So
3. That's right. So, 2, 3, 4. So we're making a 5-week period here. So that's 3 plus 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6. But then she had a negative week. So she had a -3. So now she's back down to 3. Is that 6 minus 3? But then she had a +3. So she's up to 6. So at the end of the month, she's going to have 6 points in this box at the bottom. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I want you guys to start tracking this. It doesn't matter if you're paid as consultant. It's important to follow this if you're running a business. It's important. It's a gut check to go back and look at your cycles, right? Whether you're an associate or an executive, it's important to track this. Okay. Now, the second category is number of personal enrollments. Now, this one, you can max out top achievers by a maximum of 5. So that means if you're like a hyper recruiter and you enroll like 10 people that month, that's awesome. But the company's only going to give you a 5 down here at the bottom. Does that make sense? Whereas with the cycles, if you blow your cycles out, like if you're a net of like 50 cycles and points, you get those 50 points down at the bottom. But in personal enrollments, 5 is as high as they'll go on personal enrollments. So a little bit of strategy here. And I wouldn't worry about this until you get up to the executive status and you're actually in the running for top achievers. But there's a little bit of strategy. Jessica Johnston coached me on this, where if you've already got your 5 enrollments for the month, like I put 4 enrollments in on Monday, and I had another enrollment earlier. So I had my 5 enrollments, and I have some prospects that are interested in enrolling, and I have selfishly waited till December 1st in the new month to put them in, because then it counts towards top achievers category of 5 for the following month. Does that make sense? But if you're initially building your business, you don't want to hold off on PIBs, product introductory bonuses, in a given week. So let's say you enrolled somebody this week and then you've got someone else, and that next person is going to put you at 6. You don't want to miss out on your PIB and push them to the next month if you're not at exec status and pushing for top achievers. So I'm probably giving you too much information right now, but it'll make sense as you build your business. Okay. Now, next category. And this is a gut check too. It's important to fill this out every week. When you fill it out every week and you get to like the 4th or 5th week, if you've got goose eggs along this column, then you want to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, am I prospecting enough? Am I having enough conversations? Am I shaking enough hands? Am I making enough friends? Am I getting into manager mode, trying to just spend too much time coaching my team and not building it, right? So this is a good gut check. Now, the next column is personally enrolled rank advancements. This is where top millionaires talk about how you really want to become a manager-making factory. We had some millionaires come speak with the Cepeda event a couple weeks ago, and their goal is to make 1 new manager every single month. Every month.
Wow.
They follow this chart, but they also make it a goal to create a new manager in their frontline personal enrollments every single month. Now, where this gets kind of, you can rack up points, is you'll see here that all rank advancements are not created equally. So when you create a consultant, you get 1 point. When you create a manager, you get 2 points. Now, when you create a director, you get 3 points. And when you create executives, you get 4 points for every executive that you create. Hence how Jessica Johnston hit top achiever, all the executives that popped on her team in the same year, along with her massive recruitment and her boost in cycles, right? If you guys will recall, there for a little while last year, Amanda Ham was in the top 15. Do you guys remember that, when she was in the top 15 for top achievers? Let's do the math. Andrea LaBouchère, Jennifer Andrews, and myself all went 3 and 4 star. Okay, they were all 3 her personal enrollments. So she got 4 points for each of us every time when we each hit 3 star, and then she got 4 points when we each hit 4 star. So I know this is kind of far beyond where you guys are today, but the manager one is close. You guys can be creating managers. The directors on the team can be creating directors. The executives, there's no reason you can't start creating, the executives on the team can't start creating massive rank advancements. Now, the thing is, this is a really good gut check too. And Christine Manukin, who's not on the call right now, pointed this out to me. You can be cranking out cycles. You can be cranking out enrollments. But if you're not leading your team and you don't have any rank advancements that month in your front line, what is this value down here? It's a 0. So what does a 0 do when you've got, let's say you've got a plus 30 in cycles and you've got a 5 here for your personal enrollments, but you have a 0 here. What does that do to the math for your total score? Right? Goose egg, right? So that's why I love this sheet, because it holds you honest to the business. Is my business growing in cycles? Yes or no? Am I personally enrolling and recruiting new people? Yes or no? Am I teaching those new people that I'm bringing in how to build a business? Yes or no, right? Okay, last one is important as well, which is number of weeks at your active or current rank. So down here, so once, for example, if you began the month as executive, this will be the number of weeks you maintained active executive. So for me, any week that I fall out of executive now, I don't get a point here. If I stay paid as executive through the whole month for a 5-week month, I get 5 points here. So it'll be the same for you for the directors and managers and consultants. Like once you hit consultant, you need to be paid as consultant to get points. Once you've hit manager, you need to be paid as manager to get points. Does that make sense? So some of this might be a little bit over your head, but I know we have associates to executives on this team, so it's important that I cover all of it so that you have all the information. But if you guys are at a loss as to what to focus on or what to measure, this is my piece of advice. Every top millionaire tracks this every single week, and I think it's a really great place to start. And it also is useful it helps you understand where you're going to be in the bonus pools too. Because in the bonus pools as director and exec, and this can be a whole other call, it's based off this first column of cycle growth, and it's also based off your active rank. So, when you're actively director, each week that you're actively director and you're growing your business, you're eligible in the bonus pools. But you can spike your cycles, and if you fall off your rank, then you're not eligible that week. So it's important to stay paid as and not lose that status. Okay. So I know for some of you that was more than you needed to know, but I think it'll be a good reference to go back to, as all of you are like crushing and growing and building your business, and you're like, you call me 6 months from now and you're like, Melissa, I don't understand how to do this report. I'm going to say, go watch that Zoom call from 6 months ago. Now it's pertinent, right? Okay, that's that. Where do you go? Some of you are probably wondering, where do you go to get your cycle benchmark? Does anybody wonder where you get that? So to get to your cycle benchmark, for those of you, it's going to be, you're going to click on the director leadership pool, unless you're exec. If you're exec, I want you to go to the executive, where is it? Executive leadership. Okay, you go to the reports for the executive leadership pool. But for those of you on the line tonight, most of you are going to go here to the director leadership pool. And when you click on that, it'll pull up your report and give you a cycle benchmark. And that's what you're going to track. Okay. So I kind of like threw up all over you guys with a bunch of stuff that you're like, what? This is a business. This is a huge business. There is big money for people who take it seriously, for the big money that's there to make. And it starts with owning your business, understanding your business, and tracking your business. So that's my challenge for you guys, is to begin printing this sheet out. If you're confused about some things to fill out, throw the questions out there on our team thread and we'll get them answered for you. Call me, text me. I want you guys to be confident business owners, and it starts with tracking the progress of your business. And we are right on time. It's 9:27. I'm 3 minutes early. All right, I'm going to stop. Any questions you guys have? I know this was kind of a dry presentation tonight, but important.
I have one.
Yeah.
The pools start at manager, right? Or director?
They do. The pools actually start at manager now. Yep.
Yeah, okay. I just double check. Okay.
Yes. That is a reason to get paid as. And the thing is, you can get, this is like kind of on a tangent, but you can get paid the 1-star bonus as manager. Yes, Melva, and I've got to go back and look at the details, but there are bonus pools for managers now. It's not just director. Yes.
It's just a lot less, right? A lot less shares. Okay.
But once some of you are kissing 1 star, you're getting really close to hitting 1 star, and you're not paid as manager yet. Guys, it's a $500 bonus when you hit 1 star, and when you can hit it twice. So you can make $1,000 paid as manager when you hit 10 cycles. Did you know that, Michelle?
I don't think so.
Yeah, look at that face. I don't think a lot of people know that. And so but you have to be paid as manager. So I hope, this rings, just strikes a chord with you guys, that the first step in this business is getting yourself to manager. And I will be the first to tell you, it's the hardest first step. It's the hardest first step to teach your first 2 people how to share this business. It's the hardest first step. Once you get past that threshold, it's like riding a bike. You get more comfortable with the language. You've coached 2 people on how to do it. It doesn't feel so awkward. Those first 2 are the hardest. But you want to be paid as manager, because what can happen is your business can explode under you. And if you're not ready for it, you're not going to get paid in the bonus pools if you're not a manager. And I think it's fair that the company does that. If you're not kind of, I hate to see it, but pulling your weight and at least creating 2 consultants, and a team's exploding under you, should you be given bonus money for growing a team? I don't know. Maybe not. You're going to get the cycle pay either way. But the bonuses are for people who are growing their business, Yeah. What other questions do you guys have? Does anybody want to take it as their action item to go research the manager bonus pools and post it on our team thread? I'd love for somebody to just some other leadership to step in and research it. If you want to go look into it and give that, because I think it'd be really motivating for the team to see that the bonuses start early, guys. They start early.
Yes. And it's 2 shares, I believe, right? Is what I remember reading.
It probably is, because it's usually between 15. The shares change, and this is going to be a big bonus month, you guys. I'm salivating, because I've been because I track this, and I've been tracking my cycles this month, and they have been at a pretty big high, because we had that salted caramel released, we had the cyber weeks, and then you guys have just been freaking exploding beyond all of that. The cycles are just through the roof. So I've got major pluses in that first column. And so when you get to executive, the shares are higher, to your point, Michelle. The shares are they're somewhere between $15 and $20 a share. And when you're in the bonus pools, you can get 1 to 300 shares or whatever, And when the share value increases and decreases based on your rank.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Thoughts? Comments?
No.
Who's going to start tracking this?
Me.
Was this helpful? Was it over your head? Is there more that you need to go back and look at?
I think it was super helpful, because I didn't know any of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was eye-opening. I'd love for you guys to own it. Let's start filling them out together. I'd love to see you guys start posting them on. I think I posted one not too long ago, because I had a big goose egg this month. I'm killing cycles, but my personal rank advancements, I've been doing a lot of driving the lines and coaching a lot of you guys who are not my personal enrollments, which we're all one team, right? And you're all my team, and I want you all to grow. And whenever I looked at this, I was like, holy crap, I've got rank advancements left and right on my team right now, but none of them are my personally enrolled. So it puts me in action to go back into my back office and be like, okay, who have I personally enrolled? Who do I need to help grow? Because I'm not doing my part training the people I've personally enrolled versus the larger team, right? So Louisa says she needs to go back and rewatch. Yeah. So I think that, Michelle, if you guys go back into your reports and look at your benchmark cycle. It'll help take that number and bring it forward to this leader in action report. And I think you'll find that it makes a lot more sense once you have the reports in your hands. Yeah. Awesome. All right. It's 9:33. I'm going to call it a night. You guys have an amazing, amazing week. We've got, what, 3 more weeks for the holidays? Plant your seeds now so you can reap your harvest in January, all right? So don't stop. I know you guys have it in you. I saw all these enrollments pop like mad over the Cyber and the Black Friday. So we know we can take action. We just need a little motivation, all right? All right, you guys, have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.